Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Cult for episode 64 of On the Backs of Gods. I'm your DM, Jillian, and today we're working with a bit of a skeleton crew today. We know that it seems 4 is the magic number for chaos, is what we saw last time, but we have a different configuration of chaos, so we'll see what happens. We don't know. But today we have Kyle, Mac, Josh, and Christo. I believe I will give us a quick recap of what happened last time. I'm going to go ahead and say I do not want anything I'm about to say to be refuted. I'm not here to fight at the introduction. So the team makes it to the east and instantly gets in a fight with a woman whose name they never get, and they never try to have a conversation with her. She tries to acquire money for the cart that was broken. It wasn't broken on purpose, but it was broken. Some of the party thinks the price is too high. Maybe it was. The charisma stepped back and let whatever happened was going to happen. It was a bit of a team Karen moment, but in the end, everything was paid and nobody committed a crime. And that's all that matters. The money was thrown to the floor in front of this woman who refused to pick it up. But you return to the horses, and with some talking later from Roshan, you were able to get what has been affectionately referred to as Fisket or Thick Biscuit.
Yes.
Fisket is like Trisket. It's a healthier alternative.
Thick skin.
But the night is spent in Giant's Face, where all of you, most of you spend a good time drinking and having a good time. Tordrek leads the revelry. A lot of games to be had and a lot of stealing to occur. And all of it didn't exactly work out, even though the rolls were good, which is sad.
It happens sometimes.
Gorbjorn tried to take a look at Ptolemaeus Christodouopoulos' journal because he wanted to take a look at some maps because he has a new interest. But he did not know that the bag is somehow trapped to alert Ptolemaeus when it is opened. So the first attempt failed, and he's already lost money today. The second attempt, he tries to steal from a trader. He is able to easily take the bag, but instead of being full of gold, it is full of seashells, which isn't the worst haul one could get. Some of them are pretty nice. There's a cute sand dollar in there. It's all pretty cool.
And there's 2 people in the party who love seashells. So
and I'm not one of them.
You could start bribing clerics pretty
easy. You
just
definitely could.
Pull out like a dried starfish, like, hey, I have a question.
What if?
How many seashells is it going to take to keep you quiet?
How many seashells will it take?
How many seashells to buy your silence?
Blood seashells. Anywho, but the party spends time just having fun and sleeping in beds, which is always a good time to be had instead of sleeping on the ground. And the night prior, they slept on a metal bridge, which wasn't very pleasant.
Not very. It was a better alternative than the ice cart, but yeah.
Oh yeah, all of y'all couldn't sleep on the ice cart. It would fall apart. But Ptolemaeus paid for most of the evening with a small handful of a bunch of very small diamonds. And also Fen gave Tordrek a replacement figurine for his prayers. So there were just some nice moments between everybody. Eventually people went to sleep. Roshan had a conversation with the Shadow, where the Shadow said that it was feeling more complete, more pulled together, but it wasn't done yet, and that they were getting closer to what they both were looking for. Everyone eventually goes to sleep. I believe Ptolemaeus was the only one hungover in the morning, who seemed to enjoy having a good time with you guys and seemed very enraptured when Tordrek was praying. You all start to make your way down the road. The first place you are going to encounter is Gardrholm, which at least Saga would have recognized from being a place that Bragi stopped on his way eastward. You all go that way until you notice a strange bit of scenery on the side of the road. Weird circles of tilled land that you find have like each one like a seed of corruption, has a little chicken inside of it, which is very dead and very corrupted. You dispose of all of the chicken bombs that you see.
Bok, bok, boom.
And have to then spend the night after scouting the area to make sure you weren't still in chicken territory, to make sure that you could sleep sound, bubble up, everybody inside. And that is where we left off, with everybody kind of getting ready for bed. Currently, Ptolemaeus is kind of like laying down with his head on Hercules, the capybara. And he is taking notes in his journal. Is there anything anybody would like to do? You can hear the as Saga is like sitting off to the side, like just shaking the crab and like having like small conversations with it. Tordrek goes over to her and you see that they start talking about basically Cleric 101. And that's what they will be doing for 90% of the episode today. Is just talking to each other about being clerics.
Yep.
Very valid. Is there anything else you guys wanted to do before bed?
Just wanted to spend some. Go ahead.
Roshan wanted to inquire to Tall about his notebook.
Yeah, you're welcome to go over to him.
So Roshan takes Ave's folio and brings it over and sits next to him and just asks, I was wondering if you wanted to share some notes.
And like he kind of like caught a little off guard and he like sits up, and then there's noises from Hercules, who's woken up by the jostling. Is there something in particular you were interested in, or?
Well, the first thing that I'm interested in is learning your writing system.
You are asking for me to teach you the language?
Not the language, just the letters.
Of course, I can do that. He turns to a blank page in the book, and he kind of like looks to you a little sheepish. I mean, there are notes in here about things I have seen, but it's more of a journal.
Okay. So eventually Roshan's goal is to incorporate some of the foreign characters into the code that the journal is being written in, and strengthen it.
Okay, I see. All right. I was just like, but he's not talking in code. You're talking about Ave's book too.
Yes, okay. Ave's book.
Nobody will be able to read it if it's in code and in another language nobody here knows. Yeah. Good luck, losers.
Good luck.
He starts to start writing out like the characters of his language, and he looks over at Gorbjorn. Was there something that you were interested in seeing? Or was it the bag of diamonds? I'm not sure.
I'm just curious about maps. Like, how big is like world? Like, what are we on? And like, Jillian, just give us a rundown of some maps.
Hey, like Jillian, if you could pull up the maps you have ready real quick.
Yeah. The world maps you spent hours on.
Yeah, wouldn't that be astounding if like I disappeared and then a world map just popped up and I'm like, okay, so here's the situation.
How many continents we're working with?
Okay, here's all my continents, boys. I can give you some details. He looks excited when you're like, tell me about the world. And he motions you over. And now he's like, he has a little gaggle for his conversation. He's going to start by writing out the letters of the alphabet and telling you the sounds, Roshan. You can go ahead and roll flat intelligence. And also, what is your passive insight?
Both are 15.
Interesting. I'm going to see if Ptolemaeus rolls high enough to give you advantage. If he can roll higher than your 15, he'll give you advantage on learning. But you'll at least have the notes in your journal.
Yeah.
There's some boys in their journals.
Don't mind us. We're just writing in our diaries.
So just a bunch of dudes. Gardrholm
Hanging
pulls out
out.
his nap diary. Everyone's like, okay.
Well, mine's probably just like a thing of like doodles on like a piece of leather or something.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like a nice portfolio. Just a bunch of dudes writing in their journals and portfolios.
Just manly things.
Just dude stuff. Roshan, the first thing I'm going to tell you is for you to fully understand this alphabet, like you could assign whatever you want to any of these letters, basically. In hindsight, you could be like, that makes the A sound, you know? But you would need more lessons from him to kind of get it down packed, where you think you would have it understood enough to mix it with like another language you are currently like just learning.
Yeah.
So to put them together, it's gonna you can ask him for more tips. Another thing you get from this with your passive insight, which I'm not a big fan of all the passive stuff, but you know, why don't we play around with it? You don't think that was the most truthful statement about this just being like a diary. Like that does not seem to fully be the case. So he gives you this, and then he turns and looks to Gorbjorn. And then he like turns his journal like landscape mode and starts to like flip back and forth between pages, and draws you a little map of the world.
Ooh.
There are 8 continents.
It's more than I can count.
I'm just like, oh shit, I only can do one hand.
The other hand's busy pummeling people.
This is the fighting hand. This is the counting hand.
Gotta keep each one sacrosanct for each activity.
Yeah.
You can't
And-
cross the streams.
And I will give you more information about that later. But you are given a drawing with little land masses on it. And he's like, we can keep talking about it. And he like looks up because it's late. You guys had set up for camp. But if we have more time on the road, I'm sure I could tell you more.
That sounds great. What were you saying about Gorbjorn earlier? Did I miss something last night?
Oh, no, it's no problem. He was just also interested like you in the journal.
Oh. Sorry I went to bed early last night. It was nice to just have some quiet time.
I'm sure. You were like flying in the air and stuff without a balloon. That seems tiring.
A little, yeah.
And you were falling out of sky without balloon also seems incredibly tiring.
That would be rough.
So, like, can there be a moment where like he's talking to Roshan and I just like secretly just like flip through the whole thing, like just
You do like a zhuzh.
yeah, it's just like any like loose papers or like is this guy drawing porn in the back? Like what's going on here?
I'm gonna find this dude's drawing of titties in the back. Where is it?
Yeah, let's find out.
I mean, he's all alone with a capybara and a
That's
weather balloon.
true. It wouldn't be shocking.
It wouldn't be the most shocking thing ever. It's true.
Go ahead and roll me sleight of hand, and I'm going to give you advantage. This dude is distracted by knowledge.
Distracted by knowledge.
That's his natural state.
So that will be a 13, I believe.
Okay. He's gonna roll also. Sometimes the dice is good, sometimes it's bad, has its days. What'd you say again? It was a 13?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Cool. What's your passive perception, Roshan?
15.
Okay. It's like you guys accidentally teamed up. As you are talking to Ptolemaeus, you just see the hand reach over and like fan the pages quickly and then like just like shake the book off to the side. Ptolemaeus seems to somehow not see that happen. As he's like, this letter sounds like this. And he seems like very into teaching. But something does fall out. You do see a bunch of drawings in there, and there are some of people.
Nude?
Actually,
He's Greek.
He is.
There are nude drawings in here, but like
course.
Gardrholm, if you had to guess, like they're still naked, but it's like a tasteful nude.
It's very
and-
artisty.
So they're
it's
like French
you know,
portraits, you know?
A little bit, and you
except
can see,
Greek.
yeah, except
Well, if they're little kids, then it's Greek.
yeah.
Ooh,
I agreed instantly
Shots
before even
fired.
like using any of my brain for 3 seconds. I'm moving along to just the naked
my.
pictures.
What a
the
sentence.
So the naked pictures, there's a woman. This is about halfway into the journal. You see, just like your eyes are just like boobs, like just see them, found them, nailed it. It seems like her skin tone's colored in a bit darker. She has dark hair. It looks like she's like you like sketched and like pushed down hard on the pencil to like do drawings of the tattoos on her body. And she is it looks like with one hand she's like it looks like she's preparing like food, like kind of like snapping beans in half with her hand is what it looks like. And then the other hand, she's like cradling like a baby who is breastfeeding. So a tasteful still life. But it's none of the good stuff. It's like, oh,
I guess that's nice.
these suck.
It's nude, but it isn't titillating, you know?
I mean, the best stuff makes your imagination get to work, you know?
Yeah, no, this is just, it is fully out there to be seen. But there is a small piece of paper that does fall out of the journal.
Wait, no, I can't read. Shit, I'll put it back.
You're like, oh, shit.
Oh man, there aren't any helpful pictures on this at all.
Or
I just imagine,
like,
Roshan's here and Ptolemaeus is here. Gorbjorn just slightly behind Ptolemaeus.
yeah.
Just very in view of Roshan. Is shit.
It's like, what is this?
So what were you about to say, Christo?
Well, I'll open it up just to make sure it's not a map.
Yeah, you're like, you open it.
Picture?
Sadly, there are some words on it, but it's another drawing. This one is a drawing of another woman, the skin drawn slightly tan, thin, tightly pulled back hair, gaunt face, but like a nice warm smile. And then there's some letters you can't even begin to try and read at the bottom.
I'm just gonna be like, oh, she's pretty. Just like, what?
He turns around. Ptolemaeus turns around. His eyes go wide. He goes to take it back from you. He goes to put his stuff back together.
Oh boy.
Can I like keep away for a second, just jokingly?
Yeah.
Just for fun.
Nah, you're
Rude.
good.
Oh, who dis?
After you play keep away for a
Oh,
bit,
boy.
you can tell that he's starting to get like,
I don't want to make him mad yet.
yeah, you can see it starting to bother him a little bit, and you're like, okay, here you go, man.
No,
cool
yeah.
here. We're
Yeah,
cool
yeah.
here.
Only
sorry.
good fun bullying, not the bad kind of bullying.
He
Exactly.
takes it back and he kind of like looks it over and he'll show it to you. This is a drawing of my mother.
Oh.
I don't really have any other ones, so and he puts it back like into the page and like closes the book.
So when I leveled up, I gained the ability to read all languages.
Uh-huh.
Did I see anything of note while he was flipping through or on anything that he shared?
Gonna be a bit of a high DC because he mostly stuck to blank pages and went back just for quick references. But go ahead and roll me perception.
Okay. 14.
Okay. You can see, first off, he shows you the picture of his mother and it says my heart. And other things you note, you'd have to get a better look.
Okay.
But he takes the journal and he puts it into his bag. It is getting late, but we can do more later if you're interested.
That would be much appreciated.
Of course. Happy to help. I love to give and receive knowledge.
Well, if you want me to share anything with you, then let me know. I've got a lot of notes in my own book.
I'm almost not even sure where to begin, but I will think on it now that I've seen some things.
Of course.
Those chickens were fucked up.
Well, you should see the goddess that my village worships. He'll flip
Yeah.
through the journal and just like open up to the drawing that Ave made of her.
And he takes it and he kind of like nods. No, yeah, I could see that. No, that makes sense. What is the name of your goddess?
She's called Gulveg.
Gulveg. Interesting. You will have to tell me more tomorrow.
Another day, yeah.
Of course. And he smiles at the two of you guys. What are you doing, Krista?
Bedtime.
Yeah. You all get ready for bed. I'm assuming, this is just an assumption, that people, I guess, want to do maybe some shifts.
Yeah, with chicken bombs planted by the side of the road, you never know what might come up in the middle of the night.
Listen, if the DM plants chicken bombs at the side of the road, maybe you take watch. I don't know.
I recommend it.
Who would like to take first watch?
Nana would like to take that.
Cool.
Portrait.
Tardrick and Saga would like to take all of the watches, please.
No, not all of them. Yeah.
We need them rested.
Yeah, I'm not hurting too bad, but I did take some psychic damage from the puns.
Oh yeah.
I'll
And
do it
whose
again.
fault was that?
Oh, that was entirely my fault. It wasn't even Fenn's fault. That was my fault. But and I would do it again.
And I will start rolling 2d6s. It's really whatever I gotta do. They say like, don't die, God. No, I'm gonna roll damage. But Tordrick will stay up with you, Nana, and he will give you advantage on your perception check tonight.
Oh, hooray! Not too bad. Oh, wow! Got the same on both. Base roll was 18 plus perception plus 5. 22, 23? 23.
Either of those numbers. Tordrick sits and he sits kind of like he's just kind of contemplating things, and he sits quietly and he has a drink and he looks at his new rune book. Doesn't want to talk too much to wake anybody up.
Sure.
But you kind of take a look around. Honestly, you probably should have rolled without the advantage. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Should have been a flat roll.
Well, she got
It
the
was
same
the same
roll.
on both.
Yeah,
so-
that's why I'm not worried about it. I'm just like,
Yeah.
it was all the same. It all worked out really.
Yeah.
But you look around with your little human eyes, and you can see as far as you can see. If anything's gonna come close to the fire, you'll be able to see it. So you're
And like I do
relying
kind of
more
try
on
and
hearing.
I do also try to kind of keep my my back to the fire in order to prevent, glare from being too much of a
fire
factor.
blindness.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah, you look around and you're like listening and just there's the sounds of nature. This is your first time sleeping outside in the east. Not too different. You think that there were go ahead and roll me another check if you'd be so kind. A survival check.
Survival.
Yes,
Flat
please.
or advantage?
No advantage.
All right, fair enough. I figured I would ask.
I'm pretty giving with my advantages, but not for this.
Well, shit. I guess I only roll one impressive roll a day, so that's 8.
Okay. You keep awares. And then you hear a weird sound. You instantly are just like, not a natural sound. You hear
Todrick, do you hear that?
He had like rested his forehead on the book.
Aw.
And
Shh, wait. That, did you hear that?
I think so.
Do you recognize it? What is that?
It sounds close. It does. It sounds like it's like within the firelight. Like it sounds like it's very close to you. And you kind of like are kind of put your head on a pivot and you hear zzz, and it sounds like the noise cuts off aggressively as you're pivoting your head. And you see that it stops near Saga. And
It's a crab.
and you see
Surely we would have heard her doing the jit.
well, she does it a little differently, but
Okay.
you look over and there on the ground facing you, unmoving, is Sumac.
Did she wind it up before she went to bed?
I don't, maybe.
You were talking with her before we parted away from the rest of them for our watch.
I mean, she's always playing around with it.
That's true. It's very strange. I'll go put it back over with her, I suppose. Nana will mosey on over and kind of scoop up Sumac and set him over on the pillow next to Saga's head and kind of make sure that she's tucked in okay. She doing all right? She look okay?
Roll insight.
Oh boy. All right. Excuse me. That's 21.
I wish I had more for you. She's asleep.
I understand.
She's good. She
Cool.
seems okay.
No, that's fair. I understand. That's fine.
You
I
are
only
very
roll
aware
impressively
she's
on the
asleep
non-impressive
and
things.
okay.
All right.
These are things you know to be certain.
Fair enough. Okay. All right. Okay. I mean, I guess I don't know too much about, like, mechanical crab toys, but, like,
No idea.
I don't know. Is it? I'm assuming it has like a little turnkey mechanism.
Yeah, it has something to
type of
wind it
deal.
up. Just you've never
I know
seen
she.
Saga
I'm
do
ne-
that.
Yeah, never before. It's
No.
like, does it seem like the little turnkey is like turning it all or anything? Like it's winding down or
It
anything
is
like
currently
that?
not moving, no. But the crab is also not moving currently.
Okay, that's weird. Okay. Oh well. Nana will kind of like give Saga a little pat on the head and then go back to where she was for her watch.
Okay. Tordrick keeps himself turned a bit, like maintaining like eye line with Sumac.
Hmm.
And you don't hear any more noises that seem out of place during your shift, and it is time for the next.
All right. I guess I'll mention to the next people who are coming out for their shift. Do keep an eye out for Saga's little crab toy, Sumac.
Did she lose it?
No. It just
It moves
saw
around.
it on. It moved around. It moved over like halfway between her cot and where we were sitting.
I mean, it has
while I was,
legs, I guess.
Yeah, she could have wound it up somewhat, I guess, before she went to bed. And maybe it just had a little more left to go and just wandered away a little. Just wouldn't want it to get lost.
All right, I'll keep an eye on it, but it's hardly threatening. It's
No, not
just
at
a
all.
little toy.
No, I just feel like she'd be put out if she lost it.
Sorry, I just saw like an aggressive zoom in of the crab. It's just a little toy unthreatening. Brr, 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 like just like thunder zoom in on this crab sitting still on the pillow.
It's nowhere near as unnerving as that. What Roshan? What did Roshan call it? A simp? That thing was unnerving. I didn't like that one bit.
I haven't seen hide nor hair of that all shift, but by all means, let me know if you do.
Well, I certainly hope I don't see it tonight either.
Likewise.
Get some rest, Nana. Tordrick, good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Go ahead and roll me a perception check if you'd be so kind, Fen.
I got a 7.
What?
Road,
Hmm.
flat land. There's a tree over there. See, the thing is, you can see so incredibly far, but it's just
There's nothing.
very boring. It's just like it's like the cart but darker. There's nothing happening, and nothing happens during your shift. Who's taking third shift?
I can.
I can just stay up for it. I only need the 4-hour meditation. So, I mean, if you want to join me, you're welcome to.
Oh, if you can take it, that's fine.
Well, I think we're up by this point because we had our 8 hours.
Nana and Tordrick didn't, though.
Yeah. And Saga.
Yeah. If people start rising at their own intervals, but
Do your shifts or whatever.
Fen, your second shift, nothing. Nothing of note. Everybody starts to wake up as the sun begins to rise. And is it back to the road, boys, after maybe a little food?
Yeah, rather
Think so.
Mhm.
All right. You guys wake up, eat some food, tend to thick biscuit.
Can Nana try to like make nice with thick biscuit again?
You are welcome to roll animal handling with Thick Biscuit. What gift are you bringing this time?
This time I will bring a couple sugar cubes that I found at the Giant's Face Inn and Cafe.
When I was at the diner,
You know.
shoved a couple in my pocket.
Man. Stuff I really want to do well on. It's only a 10.
The gift is received, but you think it has basically nothing to do with you. It's just the fact that Thick Biscuit needs to remain thick.
That's
the thing.
valid.
You're
understand.
like, I know this isn't about me.
I understand this is still transactional purely. It's like, it's all right. I don't mind.
Yeah, Thick Biscuit does not seem to currently have an opinion of you.
That is fine.
It has an opinion of sugar cubes, though.
All right. I'll take that.
All right. You guys get everything together. Ptolemaeus kind of goes into his bag and he feeds Hercules.
Aw.
And then he like picks Hercules up and like puts him in the cart because Hercules walks way too slow to be anybody walking. And you all start on your way. You guys, if you push it a little, will make it to Gardrholm before sundown. Like you can get there.
Cool.
To
Do we
sleep
see
in a
any
bed.
more chicken bombs along the way?
Either one person can roll perception with advantage, or two people can roll perception.
Saga.
Yeah, Saga will roll with advantage.
Saga!
If I
She's
recall,
got,
I
like,
believe
plus
she has a plus
7.
7.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
She will roll with advantage then, even though this dice is garbage. Here we go.
Please.
Never change your brand, dice. Not terrible. Saga gets a 15, which may be the lowest perception she's ever rolled. And
Yeah,
she kind of, you guys are like, you're on chicken duty, and she's like, that sounds gross, but okay. And
We
she
understand,
keeps
and we appreciate you for your sacrifice.
her head on a swivel. During your trek, nope, no more chickens. Nothing that stands out. Throughout the day, people pass you in either direction. You can see that there's like somebody who's just like it looked like they were gaining on you, and then they stopped to stop to do something, and then you made enough headway ahead of them that you never see them again for the rest of the day. You see people ride by, just like singular horsemen going by quickly. Saga points out a guy as he rides by as a mail carrier who's going in the same direction as y'all, who's just on a singular horse going fast. So he whizzes past you guys. Another thing she notices, and she points out to you guys how they had talked about that mercenaries were being hired to watch over trader carts.
Mm-hmm.
And you see that to be very self-evident when Saga like points over to a cart where it has sort of an older man, and it looks like boxes of supplies flanked by two like heavily armed people on horses. And it'd be weird, except you see a lot of that. There are a lot of people who are trying to be as safe as they possibly can on the road.
Makes sense.
Yes.
During the day, I would like to ask Ptolemaeus to teach us some swears from his homeland.
Yeah, we gotta learn the swears.
He blushes. Roll persuasion.
I'm
Oh,
good
please,
at that.
please, Ptolemaeus.
21.
This seems like a terrible idea. What if somebody else shows up and they only speak my language and that is all you know?
How likely is it that somebody else from your land will come here in your lifetime?
I mean, if I have any sort of legacy, which I would be very excited to have,
Certainly.
I don't want to be remembered as the one who taught foreigners how to cuss. But
Okay, then how do I pick up ladies?
Ah!
tell me how
You
to
need
get
to learn
these
to cuss
women.
and to get the ladies.
Um,
These are the
Remember,
most
he's
important
Greek.
things.
he's like, I feel like that would actually be harder to teach, and he gives in on the curse word. This would not be good for picking up women.
Okay.
And he teaches you the word skilla, which
Ooh.
is bitch.
Ooh.
Ooh.
But feels weird saying it out loud. I do not I don't like to curse too much.
You seem like a very soft-spoken sort of person. We will reserve it only for people who deserve it.
I will leave that to your best judgment. Just
I
in
can
the middle of
already
a
think
fight
of
with the
one.
big bad evil guy, you call him a skilla, and he's like, "What are you talking about? What?"
You'll never know! You die!
And he's, okay, man.
You're stupid and illiterate.
He's like, "What?" I was just picturing like a lich floating in the air, just like, "What?"
And while he's distracted, then we plunge in the knife.
The audacity. You guys continue on. You can't seem to get any more swear words out of Ptolemaeus.
That's fine.
Who seemed uncomfortable just saying bitch.
That's fair. Oh,
that
what a
didn't-
soft boy.
It didn't seem like his favorite thing in the world.
Along the way, I would like to attempt to teach Jenny who Ptolemaeus is, like with the same method I've been using with everybody else.
Sure, roll animal handling.
Believe in you.
If he's not too keen on swear words, then we can switch to like regular words.
15.
Okay.
I mean, it might be handy to know danger in a language that not everybody else in the area knows, just in case, somebody wants to do us some harm and we don't want them to know that we know.
He will teach you, because of the request, hello, goodbye, and danger.
Okay, all right, cool.
So you guys know how to say in another language, hello, goodbye, and danger.
Hooray!
And bitch. Hello, bitch, we're in danger. Goodbye. The whole sentence.
That's a whole sentence right there.
You guys got it.
Woo!
Once you're trying to figure out what the block is with Jenny, you're like, Jenny, I feel like I'm going 90 and you're not doing the 10, like Jenny, I need you to figure it out. Once again, she will, like, if you hand like a little grub to Ptolemaeus and he like holds it in his hand and like puts it out, she'll fly to it. That's easy enough, but she will not go to an empty hand currently. It's like you see her thinking about it, but it just on the cusp.
Keep trying, dude. Keep trying. You'll get there.
He's new. She'll get
like,
going.
who the hell is this?
Yeah, that's true. You threw in a whole new person. You've thrown off her whole curriculum.
And like 2 days earlier, it was Hercules, and she's like, who am I supposed to hang out with? There's too many people. What do they all want? I went to another dimension for like a minute the other day. I'm dealing with
I need more grubs.
Yeah, so Ptolemaeus seems like he seems like to think it's like very cool, but he like flinches kind of when the bird is flying at his face, and he's like, "Ugh." And then he's like, oh, okay. So each time there's like a little bit of a flinch when a bird is flying directly at him, but it's fine once Jenny like lands and then like pecks the food out of his hand. He's like, cute. He's gonna roll animal handling. Natural 20.
She's very small. She can't really hurt you.
He gives her like the little boop that just kind of makes like the body bob, and he's like, that is very cute. There's now an emotional bond.
Hooray! Maybe that'll help her get it.
Maybe. She's like, okay, this guy will do
the boop.
like looks back over at Fen like, okay, this
All
guy doesn't
right.
suck. And then we'll
Okay.
like fly back over to Fen, be like, okay,
All right.
he's allowed
okay,
to hold my
fine.
food as well. That's where we're at with Jenny. But definitely keep going at it. You feel like you're so close. You're like, she'll figure it out. She's smart. She's
it's
definitely a
taking her-
wild bird, but she's smart.
Yeah, it's taking her a little while. She's got a tiny little bird brain. She'll be okay. She'll get
There's
it.
not much going on up here. The
Yeah.
fact that she'll fly to hands is pretty impressive as is.
Honestly, yeah. Seriously, she's no magical critter. She's just a normal bird. She's doing some good stuff.
All right. Is there anything else before you guys push onwards to Gardrholm?
I think mainly it's just Nana keeping an eyeball out for people who sort of fit descriptions of people we're looking out for. Outside of that, not much.
Okay. Currently the road consists of well, first off, it's basically winter. Everyone has like a cloak on, so it's just like, this sucks. Everyone looks suspicious. Everyone's in a cult.
Well, in fairness, like Nana's lived in very cold places for her whole life, so I feel like she at least kind of has the ability to kind of close out like the cloak and the hood sort of aspect and kind of look for other tells, what looks to be like a missing arm, underneath a cloak.
I was about to say, what are the tells?
Or like somebody,
Weirdly
know if
metallic
we get-
chin.
weirdly metallic chins, I
Okay,
think
those
would
are
be
our
a
two things we're
big
looking
tell. Those
You know
are the
what?
big hallmarks.
Saga, go ahead and roll perception to see if you see either a missing arm and or a gold chin in
Did you say
anybody who
Saga?
comes by.
We'll just have Saga do it for her.
Yeah.
Use
Saga's
Saga
like,
stats.
I'm on chicken duty.
That's
Uh,
fair. I understand. Oh, this might not be bad. Let's see. I think it is a dirty 20.
Wow, okay. No.
That's fair. Kind of
And-
figured it wouldn't be that easy, but gotta try.
Gold Chin Joe just rides by next to you guys. Oh, hey,
Hey, motherfucker!
there he is. It makes you feel a little better and worse at the same time because it's like, how great would it have been, but also how bad would it have been? So the pros and cons of you don't see anybody who fits the description you're looking for. But you guys roll into Gardrholm, which is basically a good stopping point sort of before people get to the bridge, before people go further east, before people go south. This is definitely a pretty active area. You can see that there's a lot of carts about, people who are staying here tonight because you've rolled in as the sky's getting a bit red. But if you guys look around, you're able to find an inn and tavern, which is called Rhodes Respite. And as you walk in, you see a bulletin board, and you also see an interesting building. I will start with the interesting building, and you can tell me if you're interested in the bulletin board. You see a small building with a sign on it that says Pinprick, and on the walls on the outside, there are roses painted. And you see right under where it says Pinprick, written in small letters, tattoos.
Ooh.
And you see Saga like stand up from the cart.
Of course.
Ooh, as you guys like slowly move by Pinprick.
Now you're going to want to remember, Saga,
Uh-huh.
a tattoo is not just painted ink.
Yeah,
You have
yeah,
to
yeah.
stick it in with needles, and
She
it does
climbs off the
hurt.
cart. Uh-huh.
All right, okay, all right. If you're prepared for it to hurt.
Roshan, there's roses like your sister.
I don't know how Roshan responds to that.
I know what I want from that.
Mm-mm.
Roll me that dice, my man.
Oh yeah.
Oh. Uh-oh.
He's fine.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
I'm fine.
Uh-huh.
He probably just like smiles and nods politely. And
What
then
if she
makes a
were to
joke
try
about
yours?
pins.
Yeah. Hey. Completely deflects back to
Oh.
pins,
Well
and everyone's
remembered.
like, hey. We get
Yeah.
that joke. And Ptolemaeus is like, I do not get this joke. Uh,
Well, you see, Ptolemaeus.
and you tell him about the nickname there is for sex workers in the area. And he's like,
completely by
"Oh,
accident, completely out of Nana's own control, but apparently it's now a thing.
oh, I'm sorry.
I am too, honestly. I feel like it's maybe not the best. Would have been nice if they'd been able to choose their own nickname, but you know what? We don't try to spread it around too much. It's just a thing
will-
among us.
I will never repeat it.
That's just as well, thank you.
Saga's kind of like holding on, and Tordrek's like, how about we get a room first, and then we could go get tattoos. And Saga's like leaning off of the cart. And she's like, ugh. And then she sits down kind of dejectedly. She will wait till at least a room is acquired at the inn before running over to get a tattoo. Yes.
Question. We know. So regarding Roshan's tattoos, are they a little bit more? Do they look down less upon that in the East?
Go ahead and roll me. History.
Okay. 18.
18?
Yeah.
Okay. So I can give you the basic rundown real fast. In the West, if somebody knew the origin of your tattoos, it could be a problem.
Yeah.
And depending on who knows, it could be a very big problem. But the further you go east from what you've heard and what you can only assume, because there's a whole city where they use dead god power, the further east you go, the more chill things are.
Okay.
You are not very far east currently, but you're still in a different place.
Yeah.
So it's a 50-50 on that.
So, I mean, he's bundled up during the day, but I think he's probably more apt to show a little neck, get a little spicy up in here.
This is the collarbone.
If you got it, flaunt it, baby.
Oh!
Oh!
Saga like scoots over to Gorbjorn. What are you gonna get? She's like bouncing on the seat.
You're muted,
Oh,
sir.
Gorbjorn.
Yeah. Roshan's full covered. He doesn't have
Roshan doesn't need more.
I was thinking about like adding a wolf to my wolf and then get like a whole pack of wolves.
She's like,
you could
no.
have
She's like,
3 wolves and a moon that they're yelling at.
3 wolves moon. Saga seems very excited. You know, Gorbjorn, that she seemed pretty dejected. She forgot to get a tattoo when you guys were in Arentoft. So she's pretty excited now that she's like, there's a whole building. That seems very professional. But you guys, as you approach Rhodes Respite, you see that there is a bulletin board. If you guys are interested, you can give it a gander, but what would you guys like to do?
I'm gonna say Tordrek's interested in the bulletin board.
I'm interested in the bulletin board.
Roshan is also interested. It's a good place to gather information.
You and now like skater Tordrek that I've created go over to the bulletin board. Woo!
Sure.
Let's do it. Let's go over to the board. Go ahead and roll me Are you looking for anything in particular? Just taking a gander at it.
Names and symbols we recognized, including anything about Valkyries.
Mm.
Or a
Go
married
ahead and
couple.
roll investigation. Tordrick will give you advantage. That's what Tordrick and Saga are here to do today, boys. Give you guys advantage.
And guidance.
And
Good.
oh, here's guidance. Add a D4
Hell yeah.
from the part
yeah.
you hear. You got this.
Nice. So investigation is a 22.
Ooh. You do a quick scan. Nothing that like rings any of like the radar bells in your head for things that you're like actively looking for. It's a lot of mostly mercenaries being like, I will mercenary, and people being like, I need somebody this time and this time for this pay, this place. A lot of that,
LFG postings.
yeah. There's people being like, hey, is anybody interested in this pumpkin? I've had this pumpkin for like a month and it won't die. Does somebody want this pumpkin? That's one of the notes.
That seems unnerving.
I don't, a crab and a pumpkin, too much.
That's too much. That's a bridge too far.
Yeah, as you're looking at this, all of you can see as you're all sitting there, a pretty high presence of Jarlsmen. There seem to be Jarlsmen stationed about, and Saga with her aggressive perception checks. She kind of like, I wonder what happened over there. And she kind of points, and kind of like in the next area over, you can see that it looks like there are 3 buildings currently being repaired.
Oh dear.
And Roshan, you see there are messages for laborers needed for that job in particular. And another sign you see, which stands out amongst the rest just because of its quality, it says, join the Jarlsmen. It seems the Jarlsmen are currently recruiting. And if you travel to Jarlsbecker, which is the capital of this chunk, that is where you could get Jarlsman training. You know, steady job. All you have to do is maybe fight a bunch of corruption that's recently happening.
I mean, isn't that all we've been doing anyway?
You're like, will somebody pay me to do it? They'd probably want to pay you very specifically to do very specific things about it.
Yeah. Speaking of the Jarlsmen, I would like to go report and give the rough whereabouts of the chicken bombs we found.
Okay. You find a Jarlsman. How much information are you giving him? Are you just being like, hey, found weird shit on the side of the road, corrupted chickens in a ditch?
I'll tell them that we saw freshly, like several mounds of freshly overturned soil, and we checked them real quick and found that somebody had either buried a dead chicken or a chicken that died underground and was corrupted, and we found about 13 of them.
And the symbol.
Did we find any symbols?
No, but we can lie about that.
Roshan, it is just you over there talking to this Jarlsman. You may
Thank God for that.
I will leave the symbol out of it, but I will like bring up Bosch and give the same spiel that I did to the Jarlsman in Giant's Face.
Okay. Roll persuasion.
Okay.
You got this, buddy.
Ooh, 23.
Hell yeah.
Okay. The Jarlsman takes in everything you are saying. There's a look of concern, especially with the there were chickens in the ditch. It's not good. He thanks you for informing him. and then it looks like he's going to go over to talk to another Jarlsman.
Does it look like he wants Roshan to come along, or
He basically says like, thank you for telling us. We'll get right on that. And like, it sounds like he's ending the conversation with you.
okay, well, hopefully they can handle it, and then he'll go get a drink.
And he turns and he walks straight into the Rhodes Respite, followed by Tordrek, who's like, I've just been waiting at the door. Yes, Nana.
The one thing that I want to do before getting down to any kind of other activities is send off a small letter that Nana's put together for Valder, specifically to catch him up on the weird shit of chicken bombs. Just on the off chance that any of Bosch's people might be thinking about doing that back west.
Okay. You send a second letter Bosch's way.
Not Bosch's way, no.
Oh, about Bosch to Valder.
Yes.
Dear Bosch,
No!
what the fuck?
Yeah, basically.
What the fuck's up with that?
Is he dead? Is he a bastard?
You are going to need to shell out because it seems you realize that somebody was being very nice to you. It is requested that you give over a silver for a letter going all the way back west.
That's fine. I understand. It goes a long way, and
Yeah,
That's
so
fine.
you give this guy a silver. He takes your letter. It will attempt to find its way to Valder.
Fair enough. I kind of figured that a lot of this stuff would wind up being kind of a, maybe these things will get there in a timely fashion. Maybe they won't. At some point, I will, maybe request Tordrick send along a non-editorialized message.
You all asked me to editorialize last time.
No, I did not.
I
did
that's
not
what I
want that.
heard.
That's very nice, but
yeah, are the rest
just to
of you
let him know to expect some letters.
Yeah, are you guys gonna head over to the Rhodes Respite to get rooms and such?
Indeed.
I feel. Go ahead.
I was gonna say with the rest of the daylight, Fenn's not a carpenter, but he does have some woodworking skills, and he's helped Gorbjorn set up some palisades. So he's gonna go lend his services to the people that are working on rebuilding those homes and see if there's any information that he can get out of them while he's there, and
Okay, I'm gonna
maybe
see
even
if they're
earn a
still
couple of
working.
copper. What's that?
I'm gonna see if they're still working because like the sun is actively setting.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna see. It may be something that you are not able to jump in on at this time.
Okay.
That's not how the dice works. You see there are people around, but currently nobody is working. It looks like, how about you go ahead and roll me a perception check.
That's the second time I've gotten a 7 on a perception check today.
Sometimes the eyes just don't do it.
Sometimes you're just in your head,
Yeah. You look around, it's like there's a bunch of normal people walking around. It doesn't look like there's any builders in the area. The damage looked like it was pretty severe, but it looks like they've had a little bit of time at least to start fixing it. So it looks like they're closer to the beginning of the job than the end of the job, but the job has been going on for a little bit. But sadly, no work to be had at this moment.
All right.
Rhodes
I suppose
Respite.
I'll head to the inn with everybody else then.
Okay.
Christo?
Well, I was just gonna say Saga would probably want to look for a trinket shop.
Ooh, let's find the trinket shop and give her trinkets
Yeah.
when she's not here.
She's gonna love that, especially if they're more cursed crabs.
Who says this crab is cursed?
It moved on its own and she doesn't wind it.
Maybe she did. You can't
She's not
say
here to
she
tell
did.
us she didn't.
God damn it.
You don't know. She could have wound it. Gorbjorn, would you be so kind as to roll me the D100 to see what Saga gets?
85.
85?
Yes.
Scroll.
Scroll.
Gross. I'm not adding I'm not adding that. One more time, please. I'm not
Okay.
adding something that's gonna make me have to do too much work. I'm not adding, I'll tell you what it was, a diary with 7 missing pages. No, get off my dick. No.
Okay, 81.
81. It's like a bigger diary with more missing pages.
No.
Ooh. Okay, that's better. See, Saga'd like this more than just the binding of a book. She goes to a shop and she sort of like goes over and sees they're about to like close, but like shoulders in a little bit to look around.
Oh,
And-
excuse me. I just want.
Don't mind me.
Hello. Sorry. Could I please just ask if I could maybe have?
She muscles her way in and she picks something up and she says, ooh, like her eyes widen and she pulls up like a small piece of fabric. She pulls up a purple handkerchief with beautiful embroidery on it. Gorgeous embroidery. And like very pretty gold around the edges. And right at the bottom, there's 2 little initials, E-M. Ooh. And she throws down that copper. So I'm going to make a note that she now has a purple handkerchief.
Fancy.
Abbreviated to Perpank. Anyways, moving along. You all sort of split to do these like quick individual jobs and then reconvene at Rhodes Respite. Ptolemaeus comes over and he's like, I've already paid for rooms for everyone and drinks for the night.
Thank you.
Very much, Ptolemaeus.
Very kind of you.
Of course.
While we're there, Roshan wanted to point out the pumpkin that won't die to Saga because that seems right up her alley.
Wow. She's just wide-eyed. Oh, man.
Maybe you can go check that out tomorrow. And he also wanted to start asking around if there was a bard, maybe in town, but probably not, or and when they left or whatever, that goes by B.
Goes by B, or as Saga reminds you, just a bard.
Oh,
Just
yes, just a bard.
right.
Go ahead and roll persuasion.
Get it.
17.
You make your way around. Eventually, you make your way to the barkeep, who is a woman who has a little bit of a lazy eye, and it looks like she could kick your ass in a mano-a-mano fight. Just real big in the shoulders and arms, like
Hell yeah.
it's like she built this place from the ground up. She ripped the stones apart herself. Like that's the energy that's just emanating from this older woman.
Agnet 2.0.
And she she kind of squints and looks over to you, and you start asking about just a bard, and that like rough demeanor diminishes instantly.
Aw.
Yes. Just a bard, and like does the quotes, was here for quite some time, real charmer.
Do you know when he left or which direction he was heading?
Oh, it was a sad day, but I've had time to recover. She ponders on it a moment. Suppose it's been a few weeks. It's been quite a minute. Yeah. She nods.
We're just
Really
some we're some fans of his, and we're trying to catch up so we can see him perform live.
Oh, you have to see him perform live. It's amazing. Didn't even charge him to stay in the inn. He just played his music, and most money I'd ever made. I think he said something about he was probably heading southward, I think. Didn't seem like he was interested in the capital or anything.
Well, then that is our direction as well.
Well, I sure hope you find him.
If you want, we can give him a message from you.
She blushes.
Ooh.
Well, she pulls out a piece of paper. She's gonna write a letter.
Oh, wow.
You get back to me.
Fan mail.
Dear Just a Bard. The halls are quiet without your music ringing through them. She begins to write.
She's
mhm.
she's in love.
Yes, Nana.
One thing Nana kind of wants to ask around the bar about is, like, what exactly happened with, like, the blown up buildings or the destructed buildings that we passed by as we were coming into town. It seems like something pretty serious. Was everybody okay?
Go ahead and roll persuasion for me real quick, Nana.
Yeah, all right. All right. Not for nothing. This is maybe the one dice set I have owned the longest out of all the dice sets I've ever had, and it's not been doing me too bad. Persuasion, that's 17.
Okay. You start to go up to somebody and start asking, and then that person turns to you and you realize they're completely shit-faced. And you're like, well then, and then you like turn to find somebody else and you see a man across the way looking at you, and you watch as he like kicks a chair out next to him. And you see the person across the table from him like rub his temple, sort of exasperated. And you were motioned over, and that is where we're gonna take our break.
Cool. I'm gonna buy some weird guys some drinks and see what I can find out.
I'm gonna hang out with some weirdos.
Hell yeah. When do I not?
Nice. Thank you guys so much. We're gonna take a 10-minute break, so go get a snack, go get yourself some water, stay hydrated. We'll be back in 10 and we'll talk to some weirdos. So see you guys in 10.
Thank you, 10.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Cult for episode 64 of On the Backs of Gods. We just took our 10-minute break. The party has arrived in Gardrholm. One of the first kind of legs of their journey in the east. They have looked around town. There's a large Jarlsman presence here. There seems to be a request in a bulletin board for more Jarlsmen to come sign up and train. There also seems to be a few houses that took some sort of heavy damage from something. We don't know. There's also a tattoo shop in town, which is very exciting for a few people in the party, mainly Saga and Gorbjorn, who are very excited. Saga acquired some trinkets. Roshan told the Jarlsman about the chicken bombs. All of you went into the inn, the Road's Respite. Roshan, you found out that Bragi did come through here and that he's probably heading south, and now you have to carry a letter from an enamored old woman to bring to him. If it finds his way to him, I don't know. That's fully on you now. This has become your burden. And Nana has started asking around about the damage that happened when she is summoned over by like a kind of stern looking man and an exasperated man sitting across from him.
Yeah, it looks like a friend who like is used to this whole spiel and is tired of him giving it, is what it feels like.
So you see the seat is offered up. What would you like to do?
I will take the offered seat.
Okay.
So you've heard about what happened with those buildings?
He picks up his drink and like it's close-ish to full. He takes it to halfway. Everybody's heard about it. You could see that he's a little emotional and he's trying to find his words. And the emotion is anger. I'll just point you in a direction where the emotion is.
I'll motion for another beer, one for myself and one for the guy, and one for his friend, because I don't want to exclude nobody at the table.
The woman stops writing her letter for a moment to bring the three of you drinks.
It's very kind of her. I'll thank her very kindly.
And after she walks away, the man looks to you. It was these big corrupted things.
What sort of corrupted things?
I mean, I didn't see it happen, but people talk. Happened during broad daylight, but I was at work.
Daylight? Really?
Just these things bulldozed into town. Went straight for the houses, started breaking them apart. Goodness. We had already had some Jarlsmen in, so they were able to deal with it, but still a couple people died. Marjorie lost her house. And he looks upset. And it was preventable.
How so? You have a way of staving these things off?
This guy does. And he does not motion to the guy across from him, but you see the guy across from him kind of like sigh. There was a man who came into town and he can stop the corrupted. Somebody saw him do it.
What sort of a man? I'm looking for someone who seems to have a connection with the corrupted. He's done some wrong to me and mine, and I'm trying to find him. What sort of a man was he?
Roll persuasion with disadvantage.
Yeah.
Just have to say, like, hey, I'm trying to kill this person you're interested in.
Not kill him.
That's
I want some words. Okay. My worst, persuasion. My worst one is a 12.
Okay. He sort of like narrows his eyes a bit. I don't know, but this guy could have done some good, and they wouldn't let him. Brock saw the whole thing. Brock saw this guy literally just stop a corrupted. Saved him and his daughter's life.
Did he see what he did? Spoke to it, held up a hand, spoke a spell?
Fuck, I don't know. I don't really talk to Brock very much, but the word got around quick. From what I heard, he put up a hand and the thing fell. And didn't seem like magic, nothing Brock could see. He stopped it, and it was like rampaging or something. And then they all come back to town. This guy warns everybody about the corrupted problem and that he can help. Of course, everybody thinks he's fucking insane. He lives without being able to help, even though Brock and his daughter both vouch that he could do this. He leaves town, and look at this shit. And he kind of motions over in the directions where the houses are destroyed. We could have saved those people. Marjorie could have had a fucking house. He's fuming. This guy is starting to raise his voice. His friend is kind of slinking back a bit and like drinking from his now second drink.
Finn would come over just to make sure Nana's all right. I don't have
understand.
Finn doesn't have anything to say, but if he hears somebody raising their voice at Nana, he's going to come over.
Okay.
I understand how you're feeling. I understand. I do. There were corrupted came into my home, into my house, into my village.
And could you imagine if your chief said no to somebody who could help, who could actually have done something about it? And now they're not taking responsibility for the thing. Yeah, people are rebuilding, but those are just townspeople. People who do the work for the people who live here anyways, and nobody else is doing shit.
Where did the man go that could help?
He left town. He said he would help. They said no, he left.
Was he heading
I don't know.
eastward?
I don't know. He talked more to Brock.
Where can we find Brock?
Brock is the butcher. So you could probably find him. It's also his house. He looks out the window and sees it's like ladies like. So he's probably there. And he gives you a vague description of where you could find the butcher.
Well, we could certainly use some more jerky before we hit the road, and a flank or a steak wouldn't go amiss before we left town, honestly. So maybe we'll see Brock at some point.
Yeah, wouldn't be a bad idea to provision and maybe ask him what he saw.
Yeah, guy saw a goddamn miracle. He got to fucking see it. And pisses himself off all over again.
We're sorry for your loss. This is something that's fairly regular where we come from, and we can certainly empathize.
Yeah. Well, it's getting real fucking bad here.
And it's only been very recently, I understand, from what I've heard.
Yeah, I've never even really seen a corrupted thing. And then some huge ones come into town and destroy houses.
About how long ago was this?
Meanwhile, in the background, you hear Saga like goes over to Gorbjorn, like, can we go?
Ah, the tattoo parlor.
Okay.
Yeah. She very excited.
Yay!
Runs out. Tordrick is 50-50. He's gonna stay here and continue to drink and try to make the energy in here is not the best. So he's gonna try and work his magic to make things a little nicer. This happened probably. Shit. He starts sort of doing the math in his head. Maybe a little over a week ago. And like he just kind of like sits back defeated in his seat.
Sorry. Where we come from, most people have lost something or seen something. It's changed our way of life. Most people have seen these monsters, small or larger, and I lost my betrothed. Nana lost her home. These are difficult, but they die like any other creature. You just need to burn them when they're gone.
We know.
Same as anything else.
But
They seem
hey,
to be-
good on you guys for. Heard it's better there. And he motions westward.
It's
You
been
heard
getting
it's
better recently. We'll see if it can last.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll figure out how to get some of that luck. And he kind of snatches the drink back up. And you hear Saga's like giggling start to dissipate into the distance.
Oh dear. I wonder if we should be concerned about that.
Well, I'm going with her, so.
Yeah.
I wonder
Both
if
come
we
back
should be
matching
concerned about
face
that.
taps.
Do you wish to follow them, Nana?
No.
Okay, I agree.
Roshan, did you want to be part of Team Tattoo Party, or are you going to hang out here?
I think he was probably just going to hang out with Ptolemaeus some more and maybe compare some more notes.
Yeah.
Try to get a good glance into the book, if he can.
Roll perception.
Wow, a 22.
Ooh. What do you get with a 22? You start to pick up things about, let me get the name right. The page he keeps kind of going back to, the general area, is about Mardiosis, which is the continent he talks about that he was at prior. It does, the things you see seem to be journal-esque, and then a lot of stuff about how to talk to the gods, how to create this bond, how are people doing this. Woman sacrificed a goat for her god in particular, had to eat one of the eyeballs. I was not happy about it. But it just, a lot of the more detailed notes seem to be about areas' religions.
Well, then I suppose probably that night he would go on to a long diatribe about Golveg and rituals and customs of our town and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, you give him the details. He seems enraptured, very interested in this kind of stuff. Meanwhile, two figures run through the night.
Oh boy.
Gorbjorn and Saga make their way over to Pinprick. Saga can see, like, she looks in and she sees like a bit of candlelight inside, decides that means they are open, and then goes in. She sort of like stops at the entrance. You follow her in, and seated at like a like sketching table is a bugbear woman. And You can see like parts of her body, like it seems she like maintained some level of like shaving particular areas so that the tattoos stand out, fully covered, just very large and intimidating. But she looks over, doesn't seem bothered. You both kind of barge in and she's like, okay, here's the thing. You tell me what you want, and then I will tell you a price. Saga nods. Okay, so, and then she runs over and like flips through the journal she keeps, because half the party has a journal, I guess. And she starts pointing out things she wants. And she looks to you. What do you want?
Do you have like examples of work?
Oh yeah. She kind of like, she gets up and she like motions to herself while she walks. Did all these. Very beautiful, very colorful work. Like everything has like a nice like a solid black outline, but there are some very pretty colors in here, which Saga, you watch, just gets more and more excited.
I believe that.
I'll see the price for Sagas before I decide on getting one.
Okay. So I'm gonna be honest. Hi, welcome to Honesty Hour. Maybe I don't know exactly yet what Saga is getting.
Okay.
But I know she is getting something. I will tell you this, it is certainly under 10 gold. You hear her talk about sizing and she's like, smaller stuff I could honestly do for like, if you were doing like a rune, you could throw a couple copper at me, I could do that. And then like the bigger it goes, the price goes up, the more intricate as well. Colors seem to cost more, but nothing over 10 gold can be done in a night, certainly.
Yeah. I think Gardrholm's going to wait, seeing as there's only one tattoo artist in here. Saga's probably going to be taking it most of the time.
Yeah, she's I open up pretty early if you want to come by. It'll take me a little bit of time, but I can do it quick, I think, and good. And she sort of like pulls Saga over, who is like sort of bouncing along, so she just like moves Saga per bounce. And you watch as she pulls out different vials of inks. Saga talks about a color in particular. You watch as she takes like dried powders and mixes her own. And you watch as she gets a very tiny, tiny needle and starts like tying it around a stick. And she sits there and she makes a few of these. She makes one that just has the one needle, and then she has one that has multiple needles like pushed close together. And then she gets to work. Go ahead and roll nature for me real fast. You just hear Saga, ow, 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 ow.
Nature. That's a 6.
Okay, yeah, nothing. You're like, all right. But she works quick. She's efficient. Saga's small and or large and or black and white and or colorful tattoo. Black and gray, my bad. It takes some time. She works at it. It seems like she had like a bit of like charcoal, and she drew it out freehand, like on Saga's body. And it's good work. And you can tell she gives you like a book of like sketches she's done, because and there's like one page that is skin, And she's like, yeah, a guy willed it to me when he died. So she has an actual one of her pieces for viewing. But she works on Saga's tattoo. Saga musters through, is a bit watery in the eyes as the time progresses, but eventually you guys finish. It is starting to get a bit late into the evening, but she like looks to you and she's like, early as I get in around 7, so anytime after that. And you watch as she like, her hand glows like a gentle white color as she runs it over the tattoo. And it almost does like a kind of like a clear bandage. And she's like, that'll disappear after a bit. That'll stop any infection from happening. It'll heal better. You don't have to worry about it. Very excited. Saga's like, I mean, I'll stick around if you want to get one.
Personally, I just don't know what the hell I'm going to put on Gardrholm. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
I was just like, oh shit, I could have kept this in my mind.
I need to think. Yes. I'll be back. She starts to clean up. You guys head out and head back to Rhodes Respite. Is there anything you guys wanted to do before the morning came? Is that a no?
Oh.
Mainly just drinking, chatting with the populace. But I think
Being
probably
pleasant.
get to bed.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like Nana would maybe try and maybe listen in on whether or not anybody else was talking about the corruption attack, but I feel like this is maybe the main guy who is ready.
This guy is certainly talking about it the loudest. But if there's nothing else, you all are welcome to go to your rooms.
Yeah.
All right. Once again, warm beds. Very exciting. Nowhere near the side of the road where the chicken bombs do live, you know? So that's the nice part about it.
Hooray!
Once again, the rooms are already paid for by
Our good friend Tall.
Ptolemaeus paid for those with his large bag of very small diamonds. You all wake up the next morning. Breakfast is given, and it seems that the diamonds provided have already bled over into this as well. So food is up and out. Saga's very excited and showing off her tattoo. If you picture it, it's just currently just a big like sensor bar, because we'll never know. You'll have to wait for Abby to show up and tell you about it. But you guys all wake up, eventually gather. Is there anything you guys would like to do during the day, or did you guys want to head straight out? Fully up to you guys.
No, would you like to stop over at the butcher with me?
I think that would be a good idea, actually. Perhaps maybe we could have Roshan come along with us, just on the off chance that perhaps someone with some better people graces than we might be beneficial to the conversation.
I would always rather have Roshan along than not have Roshan along.
That is true. Roshan, if you'd be so kind as to join us, we wanted to head over to the butcher's, and she'll kind of like get up close so that she can speak more softly. Sounds to me as though he was first person witness to someone who was able to turn away a corrupted alone somehow.
Well, I was planning on going to the pumpkin patch, but I guess this does sound a little more important.
Stop by the
I was
pumpkin
gonna
patch
go
on the way.
Always stop by the pumpkin patch when we get done.
Pumpkin is second on the list.
Yeah.
At the very least, we could always use some more rations for the cart. Who knows about the pumpkin? Maybe the never dying pumpkin could make a never ending pumpkin pie for us.
You know, I bet Thick Biscuit would like some pumpkin.
Probably.
Probably would.
Very
Probably
possible.
would.
You guys buy an undying pumpkin and instantly feed it to a horse. You're like, perfect. All is right with the world.
The rations are covered for this horse for the whole journey.
This horse has this pumpkin. Okay. Tordrecht is like, should I come with you guys, or somebody doing anything else, or
But it's
I was gonna say, Ptolemaeus wanted to go like shopping for oil and whatnot, right?
yeah.
I
yeah,
could-
that's true. That's true.
I could probably join him and get some rations and whatnot for the road.
Okay. Saga will go with team shopping, and Tordrecht's like, so do you want me on team shopping, or do you want me at team go to the butcher?
Butcher.
Okay. He will go be part of team butcher.
Gorbjorn, might we have a bit of coin before we go to the butcher? I'm sure they'll want our custom as well as in exchange for information.
Do you not have coin?
No, we spent it all replacing the cart that you fell on.
But I put some money in your pocket.
I know.
I put so much money in the pockets.
All right. It's not fun if I don't sneak it because then okay.
1 gold piece.
Yeah, 1 gold. Be fiscally responsible then.
I
Right,
mean,
I-
for the things being bought, it's a lot of cash money for
That is true for jerky and, meat rations.
so much jerky. Guys, look at it. Look at this premium
whole
jerky.
pile of premium jerky.
Yeah, 1 gold's probably more than enough.
I think so. Thank you very much, Gobion. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Gorbjorn.
Thanks, Dad.
Thanks, Dad.
I wasn't gonna say it, but we were all thinking it.
We were. Thank
the
you,
party,
Daddy.
it's go team, and the team breaks.
Woo!
Half of the team is going to go start looking for supplies, so that Ptolemaeus can eventually take up to the sky again. And the other group is going to go check out Brock, the butcher.
Brock the
I'm-
Butcher.
I'm going to start out with team butchery.
Ooh.
You guys make your way over. Small building. The smell of blood a little prominent.
Yeah.
But
Makes
you can
sense.
see movement inside kind of the creak of wood. Somebody walking around. They're probably open. Sun's up.
Sweet.
Let's go
knock, knock.
find out abattoir this is all about.
Hmm.
Abattoir. No,
Mm.
Nope.
Nah, no.
I don't understand the
Almost,
pun.
almost.
Can't be part of it.
Try it next time.
You all go in. I almost want there to be a little ringy bell, so there will be. Bring. You see a guy probably late 40s, early 50s, stocky build,
Mhm.
large facial hair, bald spot on top. Yes.
One thing before we actually walk in the door, ring the bell, all the good stuff, Nana wants to step to one side with Fen and say, if it sounds like this man thinks of Bosch as his hero, if it turns out that Bosch is the one that this guy saw, let's keep it undercover. Let's not betray the fact that we want to kill him. We might get more information that way. Just saying.
all right. What if it's a situation where we need to warn him that he's a bad guy that might do more harm than good?
Let's leave
Just
it
for
as a last
clarification.
resort. Let's leave it as a last resort. If it sounds like, perhaps it's just a passing thing, great. If it sounds like this fellow could either take or leave the help that this man gave him, if he even turns out to be Bosch, maybe he won't be. But let's be very careful about how much we talk about exactly what we feel about this situation. The fellow I talked with last night at the bar was not happy that I seemed to indicate that the fellow that he thought the world of was not worth that admiration. So
I understand what you want to do, and I want to agree with you, Nana, but I need to ask Roshan's help with something.
all right, go ahead.
Roshan, do you remember Layla?
Yeah.
Can you send a message and ask if she's all right?
I suppose, sure.
And you would, if she chose to respond, you would get that response immediately.
As far as I know.
Just ask her if she's all right, please, and see if you can establish when Bosch left town, how long ago it was. If he hurt that girl, then I'll not be convinced to say anything good or even bite my tongue about him.
Perhaps let's hold off on that question until after we've had a chance to speak with Mr. Brock now. Fen, this is only in the interest of finding out where he's gone, just so that we don't lose a lead. You don't want to scare off the catch before you have the chance to lay the snare, yes?
I understand.
Okay. I'm all for establishing a timeline, but let's...
I'd still like to know if
Okay.
Layla's all right.
Yes, that's fine.
Oh, this is a moral conundrum. Roshan's not sure whether he wants to just lie and say that he did.
Everything is good.
I think he goes silent for a little bit and then looks like he's casting a spell.
Okay.
And then about a minute later says she's replied. She says everything's okay, but she can't quite remember when he left town.
Well, she's young. That would make sense.
So Fen would have no reason to challenge that, or there'd no point in trying to insight check him at all, regardless of whether he had motivation to do so. So I'll accept that as an answer.
It was a very good deception, so.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, if you choose to do that actual query on your own time later, it's up to you, but
he's already done it.
He's already done it. He's already done it and got the reply.
Yeah, Fen's got no reason not to trust Roshan implicitly, so.
Yeah. She seems to be fine. Doesn't remember when Bosch left.
All right.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. So go in.
Ring, ring. So there's a guy, stocky build, late 40s, early 50s.
Mm-hmm.
Big bushy beard, rolled up sleeves, definitely covered in blood, from the scale of time isn't just today. It's this blood has been with him for years.
Oh boy.
And he glances over. It looks like he's currently like hacking away at something. And it's just like he like thwops this like haunch down on a table. Yeah. What could I get you? And he kind of like motions over to where like a lot of things are. There's some nice things here. There's some fresh meat. There's some salted meats. And there are some things that are curing, and then there's like kind of like little dangly sausages. Nice dry dangly sausages.
We were hoping to purchase a little bit of meat for our journey and perhaps something a little fresh for our lunch today before we leave town.
No preference, or just
jerky and maybe some steaks. How much will a gold get us?
oh, okay. He holds a hand out for the gold. I'll get something put up for you guys.
I think we can pass that over.
All right.
Yeah.
He takes the gold, kind of gives it a little examination, and then puts it away. And he goes over and starts continuing to silently go what he was prepping a moment ago. He's like, oh, okay, this will work.
Yeah.
So just casually, Roshan will bring it up and
Casual.
Casual.
Someone in the bar mentioned you met a person who stopped something corrupted in its tracks. Were they telling a fib, or was that you?
He looks dead at you, like knife, like mid-cut, knife in hand, looks dead at you. Roll persuasion. Yeah, just straight persuasion. Almost wanted to give disadvantage, but I'm good.
Oh no. I rolled a nat 1, which is an 8.
Hell yeah. You see this man has a tight grip on this knife as he looks over at you. Is that why you came over here?
It was primarily for the provisions, honestly. We'd gotten some good recommendations from your shop. We'd just heard someone who sounded like he'd been rather into his cups. It was going on rather loudly at the inn last night about all the damage that had been done recently.
Roll me deception, Nana. Brock's like, it's 6 a.m.
Oh, what have I got? It's a good question. Actually, it's 15.
So I would do that thing where I'd be like, welcome to my crib, here's a dice. But there's no way you'd be able to see it on this dice. You can see this man looking right through you, Nana. Like, Roshan already got him up on his guard.
Okay.
It looks like he is just picking apart your statement and is like grabbed, like, you watch his eyes shift at the lies and the truths. Like, you can see him actively noticing when you're lying to him. Kind of like sucks his teeth a bit. No reason to lie about it. A lot of people come in asking. Thwack, just a huge hit. Cuts a slab of the meat.
Well, it obviously seems maybe you've gotten the raw end of some kind of deal. So I won't ask any further than, did this person perhaps have a single arm?
He gives a shrug. Why?
Someone came through our area who we think might have the similar power over the corrupted. We were hoping to find him.
You see him just like, he hasn't returned eye contact now. He's just sort of been staring, unmoving at the meat. When you disassociate into the meat.
Oh boy. We don't want the butcher disassociating into the meat.
You're like, hey man, come back. It looks like he's thinking a bit. You've seen a man walk up to a charging monstrosity, put his hand on it, and it just falls docile. You've seen that through your area.
No. We've seen someone who exhibits some kind of control over the corrupted, but not that stopped one in their tracks.
He nods. Well, not a lot of people believe it when you tell them, you know. I don't know how many arms the guy had. He had a cloak on. I wasn't looking that hard.
I can imagine it was an awful experience. I'd heard that you and your daughter were at risk.
Steely, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. This is the second nat 20 this dude has gotten this conversation.
Wow.
Damn.
This guy
He's
coming in. He's a hero.
He's
he
a
was an
wall.
adventurer once.
I guess so.
He's
He's
just,
like the Dolph of the East.
Yeah, basically.
everyone's like, this guy's fucking rad.
He's
He
the
kill
new
a corrupted
Dolph.
with he bare hands.
Brock
he-
the Dolph.
He looks over the group of you, face unreadable. Yeah, it was rough. We were traveling with a group. Those fucking things came out of nowhere. Lost 3 guys.
What were they?
Fuck, I don't know. It was just like, it was like black paint on a bunch of just like gnarled looking vines. That's what it looked like. And it had, and with legs, and you could almost see some sort of skull under there. It was hard to get a good look at the time, and it was just me and my daughter left, and there was a cart behind us pulled to a stop. The guy runs over real quick, pushes his way in front of us. This thing charges dead at him, full speed. Raises his hand at the last second. And the thing falls with his touch. Oh, and I've seen a person, you know, and he like motions like casting a spell. I've seen that. I didn't see anything. It just fell. And he told me we had to deal with it, and that we had to deal with my men. So we did, and he talked about how he could help, that things were only going to get worse in the east. I told him where I was going. He was heading that way anyways, so he followed us. He came into town, gave everybody the spiel. I backed him up, said what I saw, have people murmuring under their breaths at me. calling this guy fucking crazy, calling me crazy. I don't know if he's fucking crazy. I don't feel one way or the other about this guy. But
Sounds to me like you saw what you saw.
I know what I saw. And I know what happened after he left.
And
Could be a fucking coincidence, and
we've heard along the road that the corruption's spreading eastward. Have you had any impacts to your business as a butcher? Have you had any impact with the dead animals that you work with?
I've always disposed of them quick. I check often. Always have.
Things are
Before the corruption
changing,
wasn't
and
bad.
things are changing. I'm just wondering how rapidly they're changing.
I haven't seen any of them change. I don't risk it. Never have.
Just as well.
But
If I don't want to take up more of your time on this subject, but if we were to go looking for this man, which direction, if you know, did he head out of town?
roll persuasion.
Hopefully not another nat one.
Nat one.
14, much better.
Yeah, comparatively, much better.
Comparatively, yes,
The
definitely.
whole world could benefit from this man's gift, apparently, and
Sounds of things.
someone should find him. He should not just be wandering out.
He's a man on a fucking mission. If anybody will fucking listen. But you said you were looking for him. Yeah.
Oh, it sounds like we might be looking for someone different, but this fellow could well be an ally, which we'd be glad to have.
Well, I can't tell you one way or the other, but I know he was going south. If you find him, you can see the veneer breaks a bit and his eyes are a little sad. My daughter really got caught up in it, you know, wide-eyed when he talked. She felt passionate about it, you know.
What did he talk about?
After the attack, she left to go find him. So if you see her, just check on her, or let's see, maybe if she wants to come back, I don't know.
What's her name? And can you tell us what she looks like? We'll keep an eye out for her for certain. We're actually heading in the direction of south, so maybe we'll find her.
Okay. Her name's Solvi.
Solvi.
She's a petite little thing.
How old?
Gosh, she just turned 20. She's thin, a little freckly, dark hair like mine, but a lot more of it. And he kind of motions to the bald spot. Yeah. So just check on her if you see this guy.
Petite, she must get that from her mother. You're quite not petite.
You should have saw her mother. Tiniest little smile, and he turns and he wraps up some steaks for you guys, maybe a little more than something could be worth.
Oh, wow.
And you are given jerky-centric provisions, and we'll say a sausage for everybody. Everyone gets a sausage. 7
You
sausages.
get a sausage. You get a sausage.
Sausages to everybody.
It's a sausage party, everybody. No, wait.
Up, and we go to the other scene. aggressive turn. Is there anything
Sausages.
else? Is there anything else you're going to talk to this guy about, or you receive your lunch and you go?
I think once we've received the lunch, we'll give him our sincere thanks. We will look out for Solvi, and if we see her, we'll ask her to come visit back home as soon as she can.
Thank you. I really want to believe he's good.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of fucking power.
I hope that someone with that kind of power does have aspirations to use it for good.
Yeah.
One way or the other, we'll find him.
I mean, that's all I've seen, so here's hoping.
Thank you for all your help, Brock, and I'm sorry that we came in as we did.
It's okay. A little more polite than everyone else anyways. And you can tell Tovin over at the bar to shut the fuck up.
I think we can do that.
Already knowing who you were talking about at the beginning.
Yeah.
And you guys say your thanks. There's a little ring of the bell. And we cut over to team shopping.
Shopping trip.
Anything particular? Are you just stocking back up for the team? You can see that Ptolemaeus goes over to somebody and he starts asking about different oils they might have and if they sell like small like bags and like what they have and doing that kind of stuff.
Did we have anything specific that we wanted to get, or because I was just thinking like horse rations. You guys said you were getting jerky, so I wasn't gonna bother with that.
If there's any like, I don't know if this is the right town to be looking for slightly improved leather armor in, but if there's anything slightly better than basic that you happen to spot, might be nice. Nana would appreciate it. Outside of that, meh.
Do I see nice leather?
You see an area that looks like they're selling leather armor, and when you inquire, it seems like studded is custom. So you'd have to come
Wait
in
around for it.
and you'd have to wait by either giving them your armor that you have currently or buying a leather armor and being like, make it fancy. And nobody talked to me about the history of studded leather. We're not nobody asked me about it. Nobody talk about it. Hot debates in the D&D community about studded
leather armor in general.
Yeah. Studded armor has a whole thing around it, but we're not here to talk about that. This is fantasy. And if we want to put studs in the leather, we're going to put studs in the leather. But you don't see what Nana's asking about. You're able to get provisions for the horses pretty easy. Imagine it kind of like half the price of like rations for you guys. So you could get 2 days rations for a copper.
Okay.
And we can talk money shop at any point. But you go around and you're shopping. Saga's running around, looking to see if there are any more trinkets or just things that have fallen onto the ground that look cool.
Or probably more fabric. I think she was running low.
Yeah, let's see if we can find some fabric.
Get some good fabrics for the good Saga.
Yeah, she definitely finds a place that looks like they sell different fabrics. And I'll ask Abby how much money she is willing to or other people are willing to throw down for certain fabrics, but she's able to restock. Ptolemaeus looks like he's gathered some supplies, and he kind of just like casually mentions like, hopefully the next town has a bit more. But he puts his stuff away. And you could see that he's attached like a basket to the top of like on Hercules's back.
Oh,
like he's a little shopping cart. He's putting some stuff in there. Hercules is just walking around unbothered, trying to eat like the tablecloth on a table, and he's like,
do not eat the tablecloth. That is not good either.
You're walking and you watch Saga stop.
I stop as well.
You stop, and Ptolemaeus is like, and how much for the rope? As he's talking to somebody. She stops and she's like, I knew it. I'll be right back. You watch as she turns and she starts running.
I'll follow.
Okay. She starts running. Roll perception.
All my dice are on the floor. Thanks.
But my dice are on the floor.
Thanks,
Joe.
cats.
That's an 8.
Okay. You have no idea what she saw or what she is like doing, but she seems very excited as she makes her way over. And you watch her turn into a bit of an alley. Are you going to pursue casually or are you going to stealth?
I'm gonna stealth.
Hell yeah.
Why not?
Roll stealth. And the fact that she's distracted, very distracted, I'll give you advantage.
Cool, because that one was kind of bad. And then that would be a 22 total.
Ooh, that is certainly higher than her passive perception. She runs ahead and you're like, a mission, a chance to test my skill. And you go into stealth mode. Nobody sees you. You are fully hidden at this time. And you make your way over to the alley. And you can hear Saga talking. You glance around the corner. And most of this area is pretty shadowed just based on where the sun is in the sky currently. Take a glance over and you can see her standing there. A smaller figure next to her. Go ahead, give me one more perception check for this new part of the scene.
God, come on.
Natural 1.
You see something smaller next to her, a smaller sort of shadowed figure.
No.
And then you see about 10 feet past her where she's looking, a much larger shadowed figure. And it looks like it's about slightly taller than Saga and much wider. And this thing hidden in shadow, you glance over it, you can see Saga stops and it seems like she says, it sounds like she's introducing herself. And then you watch as the thing in front of her stands up from its crouched position. And it dwarfs Saga by double. And you watch as this thing stands and the sun catches the blue of the eyes. That may be where I stop for tonight.
We need to know how tall Saga is today, by the way.
Saga,
Is she another inch taller?
she's another inch tall. She's actually 2 inches taller now because she had last night and she had the night before that and this night. So she's 2 inches shorter than she'd normally be.
Okay. She's not back up to normal yet.
No. But you just watch this figure change from this like wide, stout looking thing to just near 10-foot tall and much more shapely. And that is where we'll stop.
And blue eyes.
Thank you all so much for being here with us today. We truly appreciate it. We love getting to tell you guys a story. And
We gotta get Gorbjorn some eye drops.
He's like, I can't see. I was looking into
Not
this
the trippy ones.
Thank you all so much. We really appreciate telling you guys a story, getting to talk about this mysterious figure. Who knows? This butcher seems 50-50 on it. Tovin seems very excited about it. So who knows? But here at the Dice Cult, we have a few things going on. More than just our show. If you're interested, on Tuesdays, we have Legends of Theia, which Frank DMs. which is a D&D 5e game. Currently, they are traveling to the halls of the dead and a bit of an intense dungeon crawl, but we all drink and have a good time. So if you're interested in that, you can join them on Tuesdays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this week, on Wednesday, we have Cordially Invited, which is another D&D 5e game, but this time it's over on youtube.com/the Dice Cult. A bit of a fantasy vibe. Currently, they're planning a wedding, a beautiful royal wedding, and things just seem to keep going poorly and bad. And then the inner turmoil, But currently, they're out of the castle. They're having a good time, and maybe there's a weird tree that we have to deal with. But how weird could it possibly be? If you're interested in watching Cordially Invited, which has our dear friend Abby in it, you can go over to youtube.com/the Dice Cult every other Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you're looking for something a little bit different, on Saturdays we have Vampire the Masquerade and the Last Remaining Light, which goes live at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Currently, our coterie has met a vampire who is much too old and much too powerful, and we're all just kind of happy to be alive.
At least he hasn't been calling the party his babies.
That's true. He does not feel anything for us. There's nothing there for us. Maybe some mild entertainment, but I think that's the most we give him. But we have made our way back above ground with a bunch of Nosferatu in tow. Maybe some of them wanted by the Camarilla. I don't know. And maybe some of us made a lot of blood bonds in like 5 minutes. But you got to do what you got to do. So if you want to catch up with the vampire drama, you can join us on Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to keep up with us, we are at Backs of Gods on Instagram and Twitter. On Twitter, we keep you posted about what's going on. I definitely recommend following us on there because maybe we might be taking a little bit of a break, just a short one, and then we'll be back, boys. But over on Instagram, we have a bunch of character art. We have a nice map of the area. It is not my 8-continent map. Everybody give me a minute. Soon. And some NPC art. So if you want to get us over there, follow us, get to see the new pieces at Backs of Gods. We'd love to have you guys over there. We really appreciate the support. So thank you guys so much. We love telling you guys the story. We love having you here. We're here same time, same place, every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Keep up with us on Twitter. If maybe you need a break, you need time to catch up, I understand. But we will see you next time. Good night, everybody.
Love you, cultists. Good night.